Good morning, Canes fan and alike. Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports, unfortunately. I mean, Miami Hurricanes football and sports. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here and giving us part of your Sunday morning. Obviously, wish it was under better circumstances, but it is not. Yet another disappointing loss for the Hurricanes in a in a monsoon against Duke. Apparently, the a lot of times when it rains, you get sleepy, and the Hurricanes definitely took their nap there on the field, apparently. So it is, yeah, exactly, Jason. Ready for the toilet bowl. Thank you guys for joining us. Those of you that are new, please subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and everyone, please hit the like button. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you are with us on Facebook, check out our YouTube channel. If you are with us on YouTube, please check out our Facebook page. And always leave comments for us because we love interacting with you guys. And obviously, there's a lot to talk about. None of it very happy. But hello to those of you who joined us: Tabardine, J.A. Kane, Dreadlock, Panama Jack, Yella, Live Squad, B.W. Feldy, Babyface, Jason. Yeah, we are ready for the toilet bowl, Jason. El Matador, Mr. HD, Ben Pratt, Birmingham Kane, Tori Evans, Strange Clouds, Eddie the Kane, Macho Man, Dante, Jeff Booker, Birmingham Kane, Jared Watts, Hurricane Lotso, and Byron. I mentioned Terrell already. Thank you guys,
Hey,
all of you, for joining us.
hey, Lotto. I haven't read. I saw you send me a DM, but I haven't read it, man. I was getting prepped up for the show, but I will. Damn, what was that, dude? You banging a drum?
That was that spring again. I
I
gotta I gotta check out the spring for that mic stand.
I will. I'm gonna check out that DM lot. So thank you, Tori, man, for the kind words, man. Respect for you as well, man. So you know what, man. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a bad one, big dog, because
It is. It
because
is.
Junior is done with the positivity. Junior is done protecting Manny Diaz. Junior is done not calling for anybody's job. Junior is done with all of that. I'll tell you guys that much because you know what gets me upset is that you know early on in the year, I was kind of like, guys, growing pains, this and that. Cool, man. I was defending coaches, I was defending players, and I have a problem with what Pickney said after the game, saying that we have to have faith and that things are gonna turn around, man. I'll tell you what, this Miami Hurricanes fan base deserves better. And Manny, um, you could, we can give you the benefit of the doubt for maybe a loss against Florida, maybe a tough place to play in Chapel Hill. Still coming off a bye week where you should be ready, but you weren't ready. Coming off a bye week against Virginia Tech, you knew Jaron was hurt. You still put him in the game, put us in a very big hole. A game in which we were favored by 14 points. We were favored against Georgia Tech by 18 points. Favored against FIU by 21 points. Favored against Duke for 9.5 points. Favored against Central Michigan 30.5. We won that game by 5 points. So excuse me if we're not gonna be patient anymore, man. But this is unacceptable for the University of Miami, and I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the it kind of sounded yesterday that Manny was given no way out. Like he was kind of like, oh well, the product on the field, we didn't have a chance to win. You know what, Manny? You haven't showed us anything different all year. That regardless of a bye week, regardless of inferior competition, you obviously never had a chance to win. Even with those weeks of preparation that supposedly you're rallying the troops after suffering the worst loss in my opinion in program history against FIU. You come out against Duke and you lay another egg. A team that's 4-7, okay, a game that's ugly, frankly. They're pressing you, man, the whole game, and you can't really do anything. But no, but we're playing zone against Duke because they're whatever, man. Look, at the end of the day, this is ridiculous. Our offense has taken a step back, and we didn't see that being possible, frankly. The biggest criticisms that we had about our team last year was the offense. Our offense is worse this year. And that falls on, you know, on Dan Enos, frankly. One of the most stubborn OCs that I think we've ever had at this program. Guy can't seem to, first of all, laminate your play calling sheet for one. If you know it's gonna be raining, that would be a good start, Mr. Enos. But
Yeah. Talk
but this
about
is
being ill prepared for bad weather.
this is I've had enough, man. I've had enough of protecting this coaching staff. Manny, you need to make the necessary changes to your coaching staff. You need to take over this defense. Okay. You don't want to fire Blake Baker, fine, make him an assistant, but please regain control of that defense and take his hands away from calling the plays on the defense side of the football. That would be good, number one. Number two, I'm sorry, big dog, but Enos, I'm done with you, buddy. I am done with Mr. Dan Enos. You have shown me nothing. You are stubborn, and it's to a detriment, frankly, and it's affecting this football team, man. This offense is atrocious. I understand we had some injuries on the offensive line, and you guys saw,
which, by the way, he did not adjust to. But go ahead.
He didn't adjust, but he hasn't really adjusted to that all year because he's still at play action. You're not. I think I saw it here.
Did you see it? How about that slow developing play action right after Jaron?
We are averaging 3.6 yards per rush on the season. That is
but
great.
That's including sacks, though. That's the thing. So technically, we're higher than that, right?
But we haven't been able to run the football like we were running the football last year on a consistent basis. So you know what? That play action, man. I don't know what you want to do. Those little tosses to the short side, boundary side, whatever, it's not working, man. You're not adjusting. Our red zone scoring has also been atrocious. 73.68%. That's good for 111th in the nation, man. Penalties per game, 7.2, 112th. Our defense is, not as bad as the offense, but pretty bad. We've been getting gashed lately. The best spot on our defense is frankly sacks, where we rank number 2. That is the only statistical category that our defense ranks in the top 10 this year. So that Ferrari that we've had for the past couple years, what is it, a Pinto now, big dog?
It definitely isn't dependable. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
it's a Land Rover. It looks really good at times, and then sometimes it just doesn't start.
Our opponents in the red zone are scoring 83% of the time. Third downs, 25%. Okay, that's good for dead last in the country when it comes to FBS teams, man. 130th. So 25%. I mean, big dog, I was trying to jot down some things, man. Like I don't even know anymore with this team, man. I don't even know anymore with this team, man. And you know what? I'm not trying to see any players or recruits. I do think that some of the recruits that we got coming in next year have an opportunity to change the culture of this program, but I can't blame fans anymore, man. I can't blame people saying that they're not going to renew their season tickets because of the product that they're seeing on the field, man. Look at this schedule, and we're looking at 6-6. We lost to FIU, and we lost to Duke for the second straight year, mind you, which has never happened before. But something's got to give, big dog. Something has to give, man, because you know what? If you keep on repeating it, big dog, go ahead and say it for those that don't know. What is the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
So Manny Diaz, Mr. Manuel Diaz, I understand, and I don't blame you for not thinking about who you have to fire when you're getting peppered with those questions right after the loss to Duke yesterday. I understand that. I don't expect you to go up there and be like, no, yeah, we got to look at our coaching staff. I don't expect you to throw them under the bus. But my friend, if you do not make the changes on the offensive side of the football, because frankly, being a boss, man, sometimes you make a wrong hire. Sometimes you bring somebody in, you have expectations. It doesn't work out for whatever reason. But, I don't think talent is an issue. I've never thought talent has been, that big of an issue, especially not this year. I don't think talent is an issue at all for this team. But play calling, preparation, leadership, those 3 things is a very big issue for this football team, man. And the adults have to answer to that, man. Not so much the kids. And I'm done defending you, Manny. I'm done defending Enos. I never really defended Enos because his play calling has been atrocious for a good portion of this season, most of the season for sure. Baker, I don't understand the play call. I don't understand the utilization of the talent that we have on this defense and how you're using it. But I want to see, I understand everybody wants Manny. You cut the head off the snake, right? In this case, the snake would be Blake James, man. I still contend the fact that I do not think Manny Diaz was a lazy hire. I wanted Manny Diaz. I was on the hype train. I like the hire of Dan Enos. I think he's a heck of a quarterback coach. I still believe that. Play Carter, you suck, man. I don't know what happened, but we're just not, and you can't even go to because the offensive line is only gonna. You have to scheme around that, Enos, and that's something that we have not been seeing, frankly. The best offensive display that we saw was against Louisville, where our offensive line played probably the best game of the season. So it's no wonder that it was good. But when things are when guys are going down left and right, and you're having backups in there, you have to adjust. And we have
backups who were woefully unprepared to play.
Exactly. You have to adjust, man. You got to adjust. And we have not seen the adjustments. We have not seen the preparation, man. 3 bye weeks this year, and you're 0-3 coming off those bye weeks. Really? And one of them is the FIU. Virginia Tech, proved to be a little better than we thought they were when we played them. Regardless of the fact, we still should have won that game. So, I mean, have faith. Have faith in what? I'll have faith if I see the changes. But I'll tell you what, big dog, my expectations and the hype, and if we get this guy. At this point, talent doesn't matter, big dog. Talent does not matter, because if we continue to see the scheme and the play calling and the preparation and the leadership that we're seeing from the coaching staff, it's not going to make a difference if we get Justin Flo. It's not going to make a difference if we get Keyshawn Green. It's not going to make a difference, man. So you know what? I'm done with the hype. I'm done with the expectations. I'm always going to be about this My things ain't coming down. My fandom and my passion for this football team isn't going anywhere. But I'll tell you what, man, you got to show this fan base that all that crap that you were talking before the season and coming into this year about the new Miami, this ain't the new Miami, man. If this is the new Miami, then we have a much bigger issue on our hands. So you know what, Manny and company, you guys got to show the fan base, and don't try to, especially the kids, but don't try to play this card of, us against the world. Now, we've been here. We've been here through nothing but mediocrity for how long? And nothing has changed, man. New coaches come in, same thing. Gone in a few years. Manny comes in, the hype, and we're seeing a lot of the same, man. So you know what, big dog? That's enough for my rant, at least for now. I've had enough, man. I've had enough, and the gloves have come off, man. There is nothing to be positive about with this program moving forward at this point, regardless of who we get coming into the 2020 recruiting class. Yes, the onus is on you kids to change the culture to a certain extent. But if you see your leadership not walking the walk and just talking the talk, then so what do you expect the players to do? What do you expect the kids to do, man? Come on, man. Like, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it. Go ahead, big. I don't know, big though.
First, a couple of house cleaning things. First off, Taran Blow with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Canes fam, for the donation. It's really appreciated. He says, you know what pisses me off? When people say teams get up for the Hurricanes. No, they don't. We suck, plain and simple. 100% with you. 100% with you. That whole thing that we like to think in our minds, some fans too, but that the players, like Shaq said last week, that we're everybody's Super Bowl. Since when, man? Since everybody's when? Super Bowl. That's when they played Ed Reed and Sean Taylor and Jonathan Vilma and Ray Lewis and Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar and Jerome Brown, then we were everybody's Super Bowl. Now we're nothing. Now we're the team that lost to Duke 2 straight years. Now we're the team that lost to FIU. So since when are we anybody's Super Bowl? It's been a long time. You are living on borrowed legacy. On legacy made by greats, by legends. Okay, by guys that if I just said forget about Canes fans, if I just said the football fans, I said Sugar, would they know who that is? Of course they do. They would know it's Ray Lewis. Okay, people still talking about the way Sean Taylor played safety. And just recently, by the way, the anniversary of his tragic death was just recent, and obviously our prayers are still with his family. Okay, but those things of like that used to exist, you all did nothing for that. You all did nothing for that. That is a legacy made by other people, by legends, by people that wouldn't go out there to lose to an FIU, that wouldn't go out there and lose to a Duke 2 straight years. You remember what was it that we heard in the off season? That there was a field trip to Hard Rock. So the players had to run the steps with the Duke game from last year being played on the video, right? On the video screen. Because that lost to Duke. So we had to sit there and the players had to run the steps looking at that Duke game. Yeah, did it work? Because we certainly played like it was. And here's another thing that bothers me. First off, I want to do some housekeeping. Got some people from Martin Dubé's joining us from Botswana. LBM stay from Holland. So thank you all for being. A lot of you other guys, thank you so much again for spending your Sunday morning with us. I guess the people that are coming from or watching from other places are spending a different part of their day, but thank you all for joining us.
And I apologize, man. I understand this is not. You guys are not used to seeing rants, to Junior. But at the end of the day, man, I do bleed this orange and green, and I've had enough, man. So you know what? There's nothing positive to be about, when it comes to this program. So
absolutely,
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna front, and I'm not gonna play the, the glass is half full card here, because it's not.
Absolutely.
Glass is empty.
Birmingham came with a $2 donation. He says Blake James' fault, lazy hires, fire Blake James. Birmingham, the more I thought about it, and as much as I've been a Manny guy, I was like either Manny or Mario Cristobal. The fact that we made the hire so quickly, at the end of the day, when you are the athletic director, you need to behave not like fans. You need to behave like an athletic director. And with a program with the profile of Miami, you need to cast a wide net. So while I don't necessarily think, I think it's hindsight to criticize the hire, but I think it's absolutely appropriate to criticize the process. Because the fact is, it didn't look to me like he looked at any other avenues. Or obviously there was a possibility of Urban Meyer being out there. There's a possibility of other coaches. So you tend to think to yourself, well, he ended up with the right guy, at least at the time. And he can't really, but then at the same time, the people that say it was a lazy hire or was too quick, you really can't criticize those people either, because they do have a point.
No, they do.
That's not the way most great programs hire things.
Oh, they do.
Or hire coaches or go about things.
They do.
That's legitimate.
100%. But I was cool with it because I wanted Manny Diaz.
Right. Well, same as I was.
So I was like, okay, but you know what? Those of you saying that it was a lazy hire, you have a point. I can't say anything about it. You got a point.
Yeah, you do, especially the way it's turned out to be. So, it's just frustrating. And here's the thing, and there's a lot of things that need to be said. Okay. Number one, where does our Miami Hurricanes play? What's the geography of where do they play their games?
South
at
Florida.
home? In Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is a fairly common thing in a tropical location like South Florida?
Humidity.
Heating, humidity, thunderstorms. You think those happen a lot in Florida?
Oh yeah, raining.
Yeah, raining. It happens quite a bit in Florida, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see a team that was more ill-prepared to play it to the point that Dan Enos doesn't even have his play sheet laminated? Okay. Have you seen a team more ill-prepared for foul weather than Miami was yesterday?
I don't think I've seen a team this ill prepared coming off of 3 bye weeks, big dog.
No, absolutely. But the thing is, in South Florida, there is one of the things, and I think even Don Shula did this all the time, that you wet balls. You make sure that and just at a normal Wednesday practice, not when you're considering that it's going to rain, just in a normal course of practice, you want your team exposed to the elements that they're likely to be exposed during the season. Okay, if we have our offensive coordinator doesn't even bother getting his play sheet laminated and it's a monsoon the entire game, you think that maybe they were ill prepared for the rain. Okay, then we get these injuries on the offensive line. Kaleon Herbert, Zolante Hillary looked like they had, forget about that they hadn't played this season. They looked like they hadn't played football. Because guys were running by him like if they were standing on the highway. Oh, by the way, Cohen, this is for you, Cohen.
What's up, Cohen?
It's all about you, buddy. I know we'll have a better times in the future.
Are you sure?
Well, some people might not be around to see it. But the thing is, when you see those things, that should, and Stunna says weather shouldn't even bother Miami players besides cold, right? But Stunna, that's 100% true. If anybody in this world should be better prepared for the rain, it's us and not Duke. Because we get those thunderstorms every single day almost in summer. At least in the summer we do. And we get them throughout the year at other times. But in the summer, we get those thunderstorms every single day.
What's up, Zoe? We got Zoe in here.
What do you say, Zoe? So this idea that he says fire Dan Enos, I feel you, Zoe. I feel you. There's no, put it this way. If you're a Dan Enos defender outside of what he does as a QB coach, there's nothing you can defend on our offense in terms of him as an OC and a play caller, because our offense is somewhat improved statistically, because Manny threw that around at the press conference saying that we were fourth in the ACC coming into the game on offense. Okay, first off, we're fourth in the ACC, and you think that's bragworthy? That we're fourth? That's the type of thing. So, yeah, our offense was somewhat improved from last year. We had somewhat better quarterback play. Okay, we didn't have a better running game than last year. That's for damn sure. And people say, well, we lost some guys on the offensive line. It's not like we lost all Americans on the offensive line. We didn't lose Brian McKinney. We didn't lose Joaquin Gonzalez. We didn't lose Brett Romberg. Okay, yeah, we lost Trevor. I always get them confused. Trevor Darling or Tyrese St. Louis. Tyrese St. Louis. Okay, and yeah, we lost Tyler Gauthier. But it's not like, we lost like these, tremendous studs that are all of a sudden, being in the NFL, that were first round draft picks from the offensive line. That wasn't the case.
Is that development, big dog? Is that Butch Berry? What is it?
Well, listen,
because we
watched the game yesterday. Did it look to you like Kaleon Herbert and Zolante Hillary were prepared to play football?
No, but it looked to me like the question that we were asking ourselves early on in the year, are these the best 5 that we got? Yeah, those were the best 5 that we had. So say I don't know, maybe it's a talent issue, big dog. We did see the offensive line get better, so there has been development. But then once the guys started going down left and right, what did we start seeing? We started seeing the reason why those 5 guys that were out there remained out there, regardless of
how poorly they played.
Atrocious game, yeah, exactly, of how bad they played early on in the year. Yeah. Now we know. Now it's been confirmed that that's the reason why those 5 guys stayed out there. That's the reason why Zion Nelson, was never benched. That's the reason why there wasn't that. You had Campbell coming in for Donaldson sometimes. You had Scaife at times move to right tackle, but you didn't see outright benching and the musical chairs with the offensive line. But now we saw why. So I saw some people trying to criticize Butch Berry on that, big dog, but I can't say that.
Listen, it's his job to get people ready to play, and not just your first 5, because injuries happen in football.
Okay, big dog. But how
And
much? How much
Kalian
of that
Herbert
is
and Zelante Hillary looked like they had not played football ever.
But how much of that is not recruiting well enough on the offensive line?
That's true, and that falls on Stacey Searles too. But at the same time, you haven't. Yes, we saw development on the offensive line. Okay,
We saw a lot of
but
development on the offensive
one
line.
of the
Let's be
things
real.
that's so we did absolutely did, but we still saw some inconsistencies, especially in the running game. Okay, but one of the things that Zoe points out is he talks about play calling. Okay, we made Rumpf from Duke look like he was Gregory Rousseau. Okay, so we gave up a horrible sack. On the very next play, Enos calls a slow developing play action.
Yeah.
You just saw your offensive line get run by like if they were standing on I-95 with traffic flowing, and you call a long developing play action pass.
Mm-hmm.
The very next play, surprise, surprise, what happens? Our quarterback gets killed.
Yeah. But we haven't been we weren't running the football, big dog. Yeah. We were running the football efficiently. So why are you calling play action?
What's the play
action gonna do?
Come on. We had Robert Burns. I have the stats. Robert Burns had 18 carries. I believe it was for 48 yards.
Yeah.
That's how poorly. Let me see. I got it pulled up here. Yeah. I want to make sure I give you the proper information.
And those
Robert Burns, 18 carries, 48 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. Cam, before he went out, was 8 for 44, 5.5. Did you want Lorenzo Lingard's numbers?
Yeah, he had one carry. He
had 0 carries.
No, he
0 yards.
He carried Nevon Donaldson off the field.
That's right. He carried Nevon Donaldson off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lorenzo Lingard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did we hear from Manny this week? Yeah, we might see Lingard. Cam Harris goes down. You give Robert Burns 18 carries, Lorenzo Lingard 0.
Yeah.
Veggie AJ with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, partner. Not a U fan, but actually a long-suffering Colorado Buffalo fan. But appreciate your passion, like your show. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Veggie AJ.
Hey, we really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Even guys that are not Canes fans are supporting this channel, man. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate that, bro.
Thank you, partner. And I know the Buffaloes have had better days also in their past, and I still remember them when they were a force, and they actually looked decent at times this year. They did. So again, we go back to those type of things, guys. That it's not. How can I say it? It's not hindsight. These are things that we've been saying all along. Yesterday, one short yardage situation. They gave the ball to Robert Burns. What happened?
First down. No, wait a second. He got hit before the sticks, and he still pushed through.
He got hit by 2 different guys before the sticks and still got the first down.
And he still pushed through.
That's something that we've been saying for 10 weeks. Yeah. So it's not hindsight. Is the guy who should be running short yardage downs is Robert Burns. He's the guy who runs the most north-south and is our hardest runner, strongest guy. We've been struggling. We're like the worst in the country in short yardage. And yesterday was the first carry in short yardage that Robert Burns has, and he converts on a first down.
Yeah.
Guys, it's as simple as that. Okay, you were just talking about what's the only stat that we rank in the top 10 in the country defensively?
Sacks.
The number 1 pass rusher in the country, you have him playing 20 plays a game for 5 weeks in Gregory Rousseau. And then at other times, you have him covering people, playing the Viper, covering guys out of the backfield, spying, playing nose tackle. The number one pass rusher in the damn country. In the country. The kid has 14 sacks in limited games, in limited play, in limited snaps. You've used him in coverage, you use him as a spy, you use him at nose tackle, and he still has 14 sacks. And that's the way you played him. Really, Manny? You're a defensive coordinator. You're a defensive coach at heart. That's your dude, Blake Baker. That's what he does with Gregory Rousseau, and you think it's defensible? 2 sacks again yesterday, collapsing the pocket every time that he got an opportunity to play. You're still playing Patch in a whole bunch of snaps. And you don't want to be second guessed. Oh, Dennis says he was recruited by Bill McCartney back in '93. Wow. Yeah. Colorado had a program back then. Absolutely. Okay, that's the thing that I'm not quite understanding is that you see things that are automatic to us watching from the outside. Okay? And it doesn't dawn on people on the inside. And I hate to go back to it again. We do a preview of the North Carolina game. We talk about that Sam Howell, other than his first read and fades, had no game. We don't do anything to take away the fades. He kills us with the fades. The very next week, they play Wake Forest. Wake Forest plays cover 2, taking away the fades, and Sam Howell gets benched. And Blake Baker doesn't see that. We see it. Wake Forest sees it, but he doesn't. I don't get it. You got the best pass rusher in the country in Greg Rousseau. You're using him at nose tackle. You're using him at the Viper where he drops and he's covering running backs coming out of the backfield. You use him as a spy. No, you know what you use him at? Yes, he does have the run responsibility. But when it's a passing down, you tell him, go get the quarterback. Come on, man.
And man,
those are the type of things that are automatic.
But Big Dog, what frustrates me is that we're not okay. I had so many conversations with people last night on Twitter, but we're not seeing anything that gives us hope for the future, man.
No.
And that's my problem is I can accept growing pains early on in the year. I can accept giving up 10 sacks against Florida to a certain extent. I could accept, there being, some brain farts early on. But, man,
that's not what we've seen. We haven't seen growing pains because of lack of experience. Yeah, we've seen some of that. We have seen some of that.
Yeah.
Okay. But what we have seen is lack of effort. What we have seen is lack of focus. What we have seen is regression.
But that's my problem.
What we have seen is people dancing after beating Central Michigan by 5 points. That's not something that you say, okay, once or guys, I go back to this again. Jimmy Johnson, his first year as head coach was 1984. We went 8-5. Now remember, Jimmy was taking over a team that had just won our first national championship the year before in 83. Okay, but Jimmy changed the defense, and he started playing a different defense, going to the 4-3. Okay, we were playing more of like a quasi 3-4 with the Rovers, sort of where we were playing in the national championship year. But Jimmy changes the defense and goes to an attacking 4-3 style, right? So we give up like 200 more points than we did because the previous year we were like number 1 or number 2 in the country, allowing like 12 points a game. So Jimmy comes in, and all of a sudden our defense, you remember the Hale Flutie, giving up 40 points, giving up the worst falling apart in college football history, where we were way ahead against Maryland and they came back and beat us. Okay, so that's the first year. But you know what I never saw that year? I never saw a lack of effort. I never saw a lack of prep. I never saw a lack of focus. I saw mistakes. I saw blown assignments.
No. Yeah. Name me one player on this team that you've seen after a game looking pissed off because they lost. They just finished losing to FIU.
That's a good point.
Or they just finished losing to Duke. Name me one player.
That's a good point.
Name me one.
I
want to see one player really get up there and be like, this is unacceptable. This cannot happen. But no, all they say is, oh no, you know what? We can't look backwards. Oh, we got to move forward. Yo, get out of here with that BS already, man. I want to see some fire. I want to see the Manny Diaz that you saw as defensive coordinator show some emotion on the field. Get in your players' faces. Bench people. Do something. because obviously the results, I mean, come on, man. You have to do something. I have not seen one player look pissed off because they just finished losing coming off a bye week to a UNC, or losing to a Virginia Tech coming off a bye week, or losing to a freaking FIU, man.
Yeah.
Your last game of the season,
those are
seniors,
all great points.
You guys are cool with it, right?
Those are all
Pickney.
great
Oh no,
points.
we should have faith, right? You're a senior. That's your last regular season home game. I mean, your last regular season game as a Cane, and you're cool with it. Oh, because things are looking up. Things are going to be better in the future. How? Show me where. Where have you seen signs of it? Yeah. Come on, man.
Well, that's the point. Like sometimes, like people focus and say, like when the players were dancing, well, maybe they were trying to pump up the team. No, that's not the point. The point is that if I'm a University of Miami player and I see that we're down 13-0 against FIU, I'm pissed. You probably don't want to be anywhere around me because what you're going to hear out of my mouth isn't pleasant. I'm definitely not doing the dancing.
Man, I'll tell you what, man.
So that's the thing.
There's a problem when the fan base cares more about the losing on this team than the players.
Yeah. That's 100% true. That's 100% true. We're seeing a players and coaches that Manny again yesterday, the same exact. It's funny because, oh, by the way, I will pay off my bet. I have a bet that I had to wear a bag. I think it was with CJ. I want to say it was CJ Miami Cane that I had the bet. The problem is I thought I had a paper bag. This is the only one I found. So I was gonna leave it up to him whether I wear this bag or if he wants to wait till Thursday and I'll wear a paper bag on the Thursday live chat. So I haven't forgotten about the bet that I lost. But the bet was that I expected us to beat Duke. And then you were going to hear Manny say, well, it's not about, the outside noise and all the doubters. It's about us in the locker room and the fight that our guys have. Okay, so that didn't happen. We didn't beat Duke. Okay, but guess what? Manny did the same thing. What did he say? Oh, we didn't quit. There was plenty of fight in our guys. Really? What game were you watching? Because I saw plenty of guys that were all too fine with getting beat.
Big dog, they were celebrating a win by 5 points over Central Michigan at home.
Absolutely. A game that we were favored by 30.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man, but like you just why
Yeah, 247. I think the bet that we had was CJ would eat the pepper if I was right, but then I had to wear a bag. But the thing is, I thought I had a paper bag in the house, but I know we go plastic, but I thought we'd have a bag at least.
You know what?
Someplace, but we don't. So I want to leave it up to CJ.
I'm with this. Early on, I wasn't in agreement with it, but yeah, I 100% agree with this. Boyo and Hamburg just said. He said, I think they should get rid of all that noise on the sidelines. Rings, dancing, sledgehammer, chain. Back in the day, it was running out in the smoke and holding up the 4 before the fourth quarter. That's it, man.
Yeah. I think that's a part of Martin. Martin asked a good question from a coaching perspective. How do we fix this? Martin, the fix for this would have started back in spring, would have started in every single practice, in every single drill. The way that you change a culture of underachieving is by not allowing it. Notice Manny knows this, or he should know this because he said it himself last week. You get what you demand, but you encourage what you tolerate. Okay, what has he tolerated?
Everything.
He has tolerated the dancing on a narrow win against Central Michigan at home. He's tolerated the lack of effort. He's tolerated the lack of preparation. And it's not just a matter of, well, I'm trying to fix it. I had so-and-so run a gasser.
Yeah.
It's no. Here's the one thing as a coach that I have full power over. Playing time. If you want to see a Hurricane with the donation, thank you so much. Excuse me, Hurricane. Manny,
that chart management
is horrible. 100% Hurricane. And that goes exactly to the point that I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Okay, I heard Manny Diaz from his mouth saying,
Sam Brooks, right?
what's that?
What about the thing with Sam Brooks? I thought Sam Brooks
Oh, yeah.
couldn't play the wheel.
Yeah. You guys remember that? Sam Brooks couldn't play the will. Sam Brooks was a defensive end. We're just putting him at middle linebacker now. That's a lot to throw on the kid. We can't put him in the will. Michael Pinkney goes down yesterday. Where did you all see Sam Brooks playing? Mm-hmm. The will. So what were you saying, Manny? You were lying. You were trying to defend playing Ryan Rigoni, who has struggled. Okay, so this is my point. And this goes to Martin's question about how do we fix this from a coaching perspective. Okay, what did we hear from Manny Diaz? That the reason Rousseau was only playing 20 snaps a game was because he had a back issue, and in the fall camp, he wasn't looking as great as he did in the spring and did since he's been at Miami. Okay, so you took away playing time from a young man who had a legitimate injury, but you don't take away playing time from guys who are just not putting out. So that was your excuse to try to find a way that you don't get criticized for not playing the best pass rusher in the damn country. Okay, so you use the excuse that the young man's back injury had him not putting out 100%, so you take away his playing time to play Scott Patchin, but your favorites, they keep playing no matter what they do. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, this is something I didn't even want to mention, but I'm going to mention it. You guys know, I never out a source, but this is sources within that are actual sources that they believe that Manny shows preferential treatment, that Manny plays favorites. I heard this going way back, going to when Cleveland Reed entered the transfer portal. I was already hearing this, that there are guys that are Manny guys that they play no matter what. And then they are guys that are not Manny guys that no matter what they put out, they can't get on the field. Mm-hmm. So what do you get out of that? So going back to Martin's question, you fix that in a manner that Manny Diaz hasn't shown the fortitude to fix it. Mm-hmm. So while I'm not on that train of fire a coach every time we lose a game, okay, but at the same time, it's like, what have you done to make any of us think that you're the guy to fix this? The answer is nothing. You were a very good defensive coordinator. That's all you've shown us. As a head coach, you haven't shown us anything. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. Is it fixable? Yes. Do we have the people in place to fix it? Well, no. I haven't seen that.
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now is it irresponsible to say fire a coach in his first season? Okay, absolutely. That would be called a knee-jerk reaction. But at the same time, is it responsible to say that Manny could be the guy to turn it around when he hasn't shown us that he has the fortitude to turn it around? You know, one of the things I've said that what happens in debates, especially, this is an occurrence that you see a lot more recently with everything, is that people focus only on the points that are strengthening their debate, and they ignore the other ones. So then somebody who go ahead.
Confirmation bias.
Correct. And then the people that believe the opposite do the same thing. They only focus on the facts that bolster their case. So when they argue, there's no common ground because neither one wants to admit that the facts that the other has are true. So two things can be true at the same time. And while it's true that firing a coach in their first season is a knee-jerk reaction that doesn't lead to anything positive because it's not conducive to a stable program. But at the same time, I say to you, what has Manny shown us? What has Enos shown us? What has Baker shown us? What has all the assistants shown us? That they are part of the answer and not part of the problem.
Yeah.
And again, that answer is nothing, because I said this before. It's not about being 6-6, guys. If we were 3-9 because we were playing less talented guys who give us 100% every down that they're on the field, but we were 3-9, I'd be happy, because I say to you, okay, we're doing it. Okay, this is Manny. Manny's changing this culture. Mm-hmm. Manny isn't going to put up, is not going to put up with anybody wearing that orange and green and not putting out 100%. Is that what Manny has done?
Nope.
Yep.
And Martin says, Big Dog, why is Manny allowing the 3-man front on third downs?
Exactly.
Great question, Martin.
And by the way, was it Martin that said that?
Yeah, Martin.
And why is the guy who's playing the nose, where you're guaranteeing he's going to at least be double teamed, if not triple teamed, is the best pass rusher in the country? Think about that.
Yep.
And he did do sometimes with the 3-man rush, he replaced Rousseau with Nesta, but then didn't put Rousseau at the end. And again, guys, this isn't hindsight. This isn't me waiting to give my opinion when all the results are in, and then I can act like, oh, you see, you did this and this and this. These are things that we were talking about 10 weeks ago. Our hardest runner is Robert Burns. Yesterday was his first carry in short yardage. We're the worst team in the country in short yardage, and our hardest runner just got his first carry in a short yardage situation yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he converted. I'm sorry. There is no silver lining here. There's guys that I look yesterday. I was saying this when we always have when the Canes games, we always do a group chat with Junior and a very good friend of ours who's like a brother, who's been my friend for 40 years, Rick Hernandez, who you guys see on the chat on occasion. And one of the things I said to them is, how come I'm not seeing any separation from our receivers who are being covered man on man? I'm not seeing them winning their one-on-one battles. And we have talent at the receiver spot. So either like it was against FIU, that our patterns are so predictable that they're jumping our patterns because they've seen it before, which they absolutely did with FIU. Hurricane Logan.
Yeah, $2 donation from Logan, man. Thank you so much, brother. He says board of trustees are just as guilty as Blake.
Absolutely, Hurricane. Absolutely, yep. Logan. Thank you.
Nope.
That's absolutely true. And again, guys, listen, you encourage what you tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
What you tolerate. It's just like being a parent. Being a coach is a lot like being a parent. If you allow your kid to tell a lie and get away with it, what do you think is going to happen with that kid? He's going to be a liar. If you allow him to bring Brad Gates home from school and there's no punishment, there's nothing, there's no accountability, there's nothing that tells him we're not going to accept that, you're going to get a kid who doesn't do it in school. Guys, I said this before. Junior's 29 years old. He's a grown-ass man. He's having 2 kids of his own here shortly. Okay, him and I are as close as 2 human beings could possibly be. But I'm still his father, and he's still my son. And he knows I have an expectation of where I think he should be, which he is, by the way. He's every bit the man that I want him to be.
Thank you, Vidno.
No, you are, and then some. Okay, because I'm proud of you. prouder than you than anything that's in my life, period. So he has been, but Junior knows that even though we're this close and he's my son, I'm still his father and he'd still be accountable. That if Junior was messing up in his life, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. That's not the way I raised you. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's called, he doesn't need me to be his pal. He has plenty of friends. He needs me to be his father. Okay, and your coaches, Manny, Shaq Quarterman doesn't need you to be his buddy or his favorite uncle. He needs you to be his head coach. Mm-hmm. Where you say to Shaq, you are my leader. You are my senior. You have 51 consecutive starts on your belt. If somebody on the defense messes up, Shaq, I'm not even going to yell at them. I'm going to yell at you because you got to fix it. Okay, that's the best thing, Manny, you could do with Shaq Quarterman. And guess what? If you would have done that with Shaq, he'd be better prepared for the NFL than he is right now. He'd be better prepared for his future life as a man than he is right now. And Shaq's a quality kid, so I picked Shaq on purpose because of what a good kid he is.
Right. Yeah.
But that's when you're not doing him a favor. The way you're doing him a favor is if you say to Shaq, I'm going to teach you what being a leader is about. Every single time any player on defense doesn't know his assignment, doesn't put out, doesn't do something, Shaq, I'm not going to yell at them. I'm going to yell at you because you're the leader. You need to fix it.
Yep.
So again, we go back to how do you fix it? Have we seen Manny do any of that? Thank you, Stunner. Much respect also to your old man. But that's the reality of it, man. The reality of it, that's the way you fix these things. You don't fix it by being buddy. It's not, and people say, well, today's kids are different. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really, because I coach. The one thing I haven't coached is college, but I coach high school kids, and I was hard on them and did exactly what I'm telling you. And you know what? I even tell you guys a story about this. When I was a kid that I coached, you're gonna know who that is. His father passed away. I was at Monty's in Biscayne, and this is like 6-7 years after I had coached a high school kid, right? I saw him walk. So he was about 24, 25. I saw him walk into Monty's, but he didn't see me. All right. And then I laughed because I saw him take out his earring and put it in his pocket and pull up his pants because he had seen me. And then he came over to say hello. And he gave me a big hug and we talked and stuff like that. Okay, but here's a kid who's now not a kid anymore. He's 24, 25 years old. He took out his earring because he didn't think I would like it and pulled up his pants before he even comes to say hello to me. That's a modern kid too. Mm-hmm. Look at Alabama. Look at Clemson. Those are modern kids too. Mm-hmm. And you don't see them putting out half-ass efforts.
And kids from South Florida. So it's not a South Florida issue, man. It's a University of Miami football issue.
South Florida kids certainly put out when they go to Alabama, don't they? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's a matter of you get what you tolerate. What is it? You get what you demand, but you encourage what you tolerate. That's what Manny has been doing. That's what Enos and Baker and everybody else has been doing. They've been encouraging what they tolerate. And what they tolerate is underachievement, lack of preparation, underperforming, not caring enough, wanting to dance, wanting it to be all about me. You guys heard the story last week that the reporter from 790 reported that he ran into a Miami player after the loss to FIU, and he was like, man, tough loss, man. I'm really sorry. Sorry to hear about that. And the player's response was, nah, I played good. I did this and I did that.
Big dog, they don't care, man. Like
That's a problem.
It's they're like, all right, well, we lost. Well, on to next week type of thing.
Right.
Going through the motions, man.
Right.
And that's not gonna change the culture of this program, and that's not gonna put us back where we gotta be, man.
We've lost games and had players post to Twitter, to social media, their good plays in games that we lost.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yep.
So it goes back to the same thing, Manny. If you're not part of the solution, what are you then? You're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about accountability, okay, and there isn't player accountability, which there isn't, because I haven't seen one player get in one player's face this entire year. Okay, but how about the fact coaching accountability? How about Dan Enos looking himself in the face going, we're the worst team in third down, and I keep trying to pull up cute plays, and on third and short, I'm not running my hardest runner. Man, I'm calling a crappy game. How about Blake Baker going, oh, what the hell am I doing? I'm using the best pass rusher in the country as a Viper.
When was the last time you saw on the sidelines, man? Blake Baker addressing the defense or Manny.
Other than Manny, I did see Manny yell at the guys a couple of times this year.
Yeah, no, yeah, he'll yell at them coming off the field. But when have you seen like I was watching the I think it was the Florida and FSU game yesterday, and then Bryles, pulled Blackman aside. I guess there was some kind of disagreement or whatnot, and he pulled him aside and started talking to him or whatnot. And you saw fire, from Bryles, and you saw fire from the quarterback, and you saw the will of like, hey man, we're not getting it done. You saw just people being pissed off, man, and that's something I miss with this team. You're just not seeing. I want to see Baker, address the entire defense, scream at your defense, tell them to get their head out of their what. I want to see Manny, drill into Jaron or drill into whoever the quarterback is, or drill into the offensive line. I want to see. I want to see people getting.
How about this much? How about Dan Enos, who has absolutely no compunction with throwing his quarterbacks under the bus? Okay, yeah. Specifically Jaron. How about Dan Enos one time saying, I've done a horrible job play calling in short yardage and red zone?
Nah, but he'll blame it on execution.
Oh, so, and who's responsible for that execution?
Yeah. Chuck Beer, man, with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Beer, for joining us and for your support, man. He says, Junior the Big Dog, you are 100% correct as always. Nobody's taking responsibility, which equals, no leadership.
Absolutely, Chuck Beer.
We heard some of it from Manny.
Thank you, for the donation too.
From Manny against FIU, but then yesterday we hear that it was basically the personnel on the field that gave us no shot to win. That's basically what he said.
Right.
I mean, let me know if you guys got something else from that. But he basically said that the personnel that we had on the field, and I'm guessing he was referring to the offensive line, didn't give us a chance to win. There was no way we were going to win that game with the personnel we had on the field. Right. Guys, come on now. Right. There's no way we would have won that game against Duke with the personnel we had out there. It was clear as day. Really? You're gonna say that to us, Manny?
Right.
Papa. Come on, man.
Let's do this. Let's do a pickup game. A pickup game at the park. Okay? And Junior and I are captains. And we're going to do a pickup game at the park. 11 on 11. Okay. Junior, out of the 22 guys that we're going to pick, with the personnel being Miami and Duke, right?
Yeah.
Probably, what do you say, 17 or 18 of the guys that we'll pick will be Miami players?
Big dog. Yeah. If not, also,
think about that.
Like, yeah.
Think about that. We're playing a pickup game at the park. Okay, but a real football pickup game. Not touch. So we're going to have an offensive line, defensive line, all that stuff. And we pick the first two. We're going to pick 22 guys. Probably 18 or 19 of those players, D says 19, will be Canes. Mm-hmm. And 3 or 4 Duke players.
Mm-hmm.
So what personnel are you talking about, Manny?
Yeah. Man.
What personnel are you talking about? Because I saw plenty of talent out there to beat Duke. The smarter Duke team might win. You're right, Thomas. You're right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
D. John McDonald. Put D. John McDonald's comment. That's an awesome comment, D. John.
It says Diaz talks about arrogance that's reflected in the leadership, like an offensive coordinator that can run the ball over and over, but calls long drawn out play actions to prove his genius. Yep.
Perfect point, D. John. That's absolutely right. You know why Robert Burns hasn't gotten the short yardage plays? Because Enos can't say, hey, look at me. Did you see that great triple reverse with double action and a pitch back with your eyes closed that I called that got us that 3rd and 1? Oh, you don't want to give it to Burns because then you don't get the credit because that's a plotting play. That's a what is it? A non-ingenious call. So instead, you've been running all these cutesy plays that haven't worked. Guys, again, I go to this is not hindsight. Those of you who have been with us since before the season started.
100% HGS.
Since before the season started, we've been saying short yardage. Let's see 22 personnel with Brevin and Mallory at the tight ends. I wouldn't be mad if you put Michael Irvin at one of them or Palinde at one of them and even Larry Hodges at one of them. With Rielis George and Robert Burns. And then you tell Corey Gaynor, Corey, I'm going to run it right up your backside. You better move that pile. Okay? That's what I would do for short yardage. We have not seen that one time. Robert Burns gets his first carry in a short yardage situation yesterday and converts, even though he was hit by 2 different guys behind the line. We're the worst team in the country in short yardage, and Dan Enos did not try Robert Burns in short yardage until yesterday. That isn't hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we've been saying for 10 weeks. And Wholesome, what do you say, Wholesome? This is something that Wholesome Jr. and I and Paul and everybody, we were talking about the different things that you could do with our personnel. And we've seen none of it. Put Eduardo Rodriguez's comment too.
Every loss this season has been because we've been out-coached, and it hasn't been hard because our coaches are outsmarting themselves. Yep.
Primo, I see it. Absolutely. They haven't done anything to convince myself that they have to convince me or anyone else that they have to stay. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at LRL Cool J's comment too about Mike Leach, about mesh concepts. Beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the thing, guys. It's the things that are obvious to everyone Dan Enos doesn't do because then he wouldn't get the credit for it. He wouldn't show off his great brain. Okay, and like I said, people can say it's a knee-jerk reaction about firing a staff in their first season. I understand that thought process. But what exactly has anyone on this staff done that you think that they could be part of the solution and not part of the problem? Because I'm not seeing it.
When people say that, I go back to 0-3 off of bye weeks, losing to FIU. Losing 5 out of the 6 games that we've lost this year, we've been favored in.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You could say that maybe Bethune-Cookman and Florida are the 2 games that we didn't underachieve.
Louisville.
Okay, but
we did underachieve on defense.
On defense, our defense gave up almost 500 yards against Louisville.
Yeah, Wholesome, man. I blew off my steam early on, and now I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just tired, man.
Hey, 247 says Enos to the Falcons. Hey, Wholesome, Junior, Paul, and I will all help them move. If Enos wants to go in there, we'll all help him move.
Man.
Thomas, I agree. I think a lot of people like Leach for an OC, but as a head coach, you look at Leach's team, and traditionally their defensive has been crap. And like you said, he hasn't won at a national level, but offensively, but he's not going to take an OC job at this stage of his career though. So he wants to be a head coach. Yes, 786 says we're all tired, Junior. Yeah.
That's how I feel right now, man. Like you guys notice my energy level went down the drain because it's like it's just repeating the same things over and over again, man. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I had to let off my steam early on because I had it built up, you know. Pause, but it's just the same thing over and over again, man.
Put what Nicholas G just said.
Who I put out a tweet yesterday. KJ Osborne with the big punt return to the 14-yard line. The field goal units warming up to come in. I predicted that so easily it was sad. Yeah, I know, Megalith, man. I know. Those tosses didn't work for some reason.
Jay brings up and said, "Let's talk solutions. We know the problems." I agree, Jay.
Let's talk solutions, man. Let's spend the last little bit of this show, Big Dog, talking about what can we do, man. I'll start off by saying this much. Okay. Manny, if Manny doesn't make changes in the coaching staff, Manny needs to go. I know some people want Manny out of here already, but I'm giving him at least that out. I'm giving you that out, Manny, because at the end of the day, the defensive play calling has been bad. Okay. Personnel management has been bad, but that's more on Manny. So that's Manny's plenty at fault here. Right. Okay. I'm not up here defending Manny at all. But if Manny were to stay as the head coach for the University of Miami Hurricanes, you have to do something with your coordinators. Okay. I want Enos gone, man. I want Blake Baker to be relieved of his duties. Manny, if you're not going to take over this defense, then you better bring in somebody else to take over this defense. Because I don't want to see Blake Baker coaching this defense next year. I don't want to see Dan Enos coaching this offense next year. So if you want to salvage your job, Manny, then you better make some changes on your staff. You better make some changes on your staff. And if you don't, for some reason, make changes on your staff, because next year's schedule is easy as well. If you don't, for some reason, make changes on your staff, then Manny, you got to get out of Dodge, my friend. And I don't want to see you here anymore. Okay? Some people are saying that, that Manny...
Put a Monty's comment before he goes too far up. Go ahead. Leave the comment. We'll talk about, you finish your comment.
Yeah. That's where I'm standing. Me personally, I would like to see Manny. I said it yesterday on Twitter. I want to see Manny take control back of this defense. Okay. I mean, I think I do, because he said that he was going to take more control over the defensive duties. And yeah, did you take your foot off the gas, Manny? Because what has been happening in recent weeks? He gave up almost 500 yards against Louisville. Okay, lost against FIU, Duke. So our defense and our play calling on the defense side of the football is atrocious. So something needs to happen on that end. If I don't see any staff changes, then Manny needs to go. Blake James needs to go. Everybody needs to go, because I don't see the silver lining. I don't see a bright future. I mean, at this point, it's like it almost feels like you're trying to put Band-Aids on the real issues at hand. I'm tired of being mediocre. I'm tired of underwhelming results. I'm tired of not meeting, at the very least, expectations, or falling a little short of expectations. But no, we're not falling just a little short of expectations, man. We're a terrible program right now. And frankly, the lore, playing for the University of Miami, I don't think that exists right now. I don't know why it should be. We're an average ACC Coastal team at this point, and that's the truth,
At
man.
best.
At best, okay, and maybe not even average because you're losing to FIU. You lose. Come on, man. Like you, there's been 7 different Coastal champions in 7 years. Okay, there's no reason why the University of Miami, the U, shouldn't be playing for the ACC championship every single year, man. So there is a problem with culture. There's a problem with leadership. And if I don't see some people getting fired, then we need to blow the whole thing up. We need to bring in a new AD. We need to bring in a new head coach. We need to bring in everybody. David Feely, you can stay. I like David Feely. I feel like our players are actually in shape. So I like
they're better condition than they've been in the past.
right.
Absolutely.
I'm good with David Feely. I really am. But yeah, man, I have to see something. I don't think it's gonna happen before the bowl game. Whoever it is that we play in the toilet bowl or whatever bowl it is that we're gonna play, I need to see changes, win or lose in that bowl game. I need to see some changes on the staff, man. And if I don't see any changes on the staff, we're gonna see more of the same next year. Nothing's going to change. And at that point, if this program keeps on going downhill, man, it's going to take a very long time for it to come back. And that's where I'm at this point, man. I said it early on, my expectations, hype, recruits that want to come in. Cool, man. Come in. Yo, Justin Flo. Yeah, I'll be excited about Justin Flo. But you know what, man? When you have this kind of leadership, this kind of preparation, this kind of coaching staff, man, it does not matter what recruits you bring in. They're not going to change it, man, because it starts at the top. And if your leadership is faulty, then your program will be faulty. Your football team will be faulty. And you're not going to get the best out of your players. So at this point, recruits matter to a certain extent, but not as much as you guys think, man, because it starts from the top. So my hype is gone. Expectations are done. You got to show me. Now you got to show me that Manny, you're going to make the necessary changes. And if you're not going to make the necessary changes, then you got to start packing your bags too. And that's where I'm at this point. I'm defending nobody. Anybody can get it. Anybody can go. But I have to see some changes, man, because I'm done. I'm done. And that's where I'm at, big dog.
All right. What I say about going forward. Dante, I put this on there. You and I usually agree, and we're usually thinking on the same lines. I don't agree with you at the culture. I agree with the other part, but the culture is a problem. Is a problem. We don't have anywhere near as many dogs as we need. I've seen players too willing to capitulate. And one of the things I mentioned to Wholesome about is those of you that can play football or have played football know this. While football has a lot of strategy, X's and O's, schemes, and those things are incredibly important, football is also a game of a lot of individual one-on-one battles. Okay? So when you underperform against a team like FIU, you're not just underperforming, you're getting your ass kicked by people that you should be blowing off the field. Okay? So the culture is a problem because we have way too many players that are willing to get their asses handed to them by guys that should not be on the field with them, and they want to talk about their resume and their resume of what they did in high school or what they did in Pop Warner or what they did on one play. Look at my run. Yeah, but we lost by 15. Or we lost by 10 yesterday. Okay. So I disagree. The culture is a problem. But the culture is also a problem because it's encouraged. A very good point, Dijon. Put Dijon's comment up there. The culture is a problem. It's similar culture at USC in Texas. Beautiful, Dijon. Absolutely. Look at those teams. Look at how they underperform consistently with the talent that they have. Okay. Now, that gets to point B, Dante, in terms of what we're talking about. So, Manny said himself this past week, you get what you demand and you encourage what you tolerate. Okay. So what we know that Manny has done is he hasn't demanded enough and he's tolerated way too much. All right. So if that's the case, why stop at the coordinators? Why stop at the coordinators? Because ultimately it comes down to the head man. And if the head man is tolerating, is encouraging what he tolerates, and tolerates losing to FIU and following that up by losing to Duke, second year in a row for the first time in school history. What are you telling me, Manny? You're telling me you're not the answer. That's what you're telling me. So I say firing a coach in his first year is a knee-jerk reaction, and it's a really bad way of doing business on a consistent basis. It leads to instability in a program. But here's the reality. Manny Diaz hasn't done anything to show me he's part of the solution. So if he's not part of the solution, what does that make him?
Part of the problem.
That's your answer. So if I'm Blake James, okay, if I'm Julio Frank, I'll go, let's go to the top man, the president of the university. Okay. The two coaches, players that come in, coaches. Dante, I agree with that. I agree with the top has to lead, but a dog doesn't need a coach to have him putting out 100%. A dog doesn't want to get, because if I'm a defensive end and you're the offensive tackle from FIU, Dante, I'm going to whoop your ass every play. I don't need a coach to tell me that. Okay? If I'm the DB, if I'm Al Blades, and you're the wide receiver for FIU, I'm shutting you down. You're not catching a pass on me. All right? That's what football comes down to. Football comes down to, in a lot of ways, to one-on-one matchups all over the field and guys who want to win those matchups. Okay? That's something that I don't need a coach to get me not to let you kick my ass. So that culture is the problem. Now, I agree with you, Dante. That culture has been encouraged because it's been tolerated. So Dan Enos isn't the answer. Blake Baker isn't the answer. Butch Barry, you want to say Butch Barry isn't the answer? Okay. You want to say Todd Stroud isn't the answer? Okay. You want to say Jonathan Packey isn't the answer? Okay. You want to say Mike Rumpf or Refrain Banda isn't the answer? Eric Hickson, by the way, with us being 6-6, has kept Don Chaney in this class and just got Jalen Knighton to commit. So how about some applause for Eric Hickson? And our running backs certainly have played harder than any other position. So Hickson I'd probably keep. Stephen Field I'd probably keep. Mm-hmm. But coaches want to bring in their whole staff. So if we're talking about all these people that have allowed Miami to underachieve this year, where does it start?
The top, man.
It starts at the top. So if I'm Julio Frank, I'm saying to Blake Baker, to Butch, oh my God, Blake James, fix this, or you're done, because this is an embarrassment. Okay, so I'm putting out a net, whether that's Urban Meyer, whether that's whoever, insert the name here. Okay,
Urban Meyer, boy.
Absolutely. I'll take the consequences later. I'll take the probation that's probably going to come. Okay, but
if he's available, if he has any inkling that he wants to coach at this university,
pull up the Brinks truck. Pull up the Brinks truck. Beep, beep, beep. That's the Brinks truck backing up. Okay, because I agree with all those people that say firing a coach in his first year leads to instability of the program, and it's a horrible idea. I agree. Okay? But if we have seen that Manny, because I go back to the same thing, if we were 6-6 because Manny is benching people left and right, and Corey Couch is playing because you feel that DJ Ivy isn't focused and isn't giving you 100%, I can live with Corey giving up some touchdowns. And maybe it costs some ball games. Okay, but what I can't live with is that we're 6-6 and you've basically had the same starting lineup with the exception of injuries and with the exception of one change in the offensive line. You've basically had the same starting lineup for the entire season, and we have consistently underachieved. And Manny Diaz, you have done nothing but encourage what you tolerate.
Got a $5 donation from Slim Shady Kane. He says, can anyone name a first-time head coach that has won 10-plus games that wasn't already an established team?
Slim Shady, we have seen that on occasion, but I agree with you that that's not a common occurrence. But again, I go back to how are we losing those games? Is it a question of playing youth that has blown assignments? Or is it a question of players just not trying or just not putting out maximum effort or maximum preparation?
Slim Shady, my response to that is you can't look at this and think it's like an on the issue surface and just look at the record. Oh, okay, 6-6 his first year. It's not Slim Shady. We're 0-3 coming off of bye weeks. Bye weeks that looked like we did nothing. That we did nothing to prepare for the teams that we were playing. And there was no preparation. We lost to FIU, man.
And thank you very much for your donation, Slim Shady.
Thank you so much, Slim Shady.
But I go back to this again. Miami this year became the first team in 40 years to lose 3 games when favored by more than 2 touchdowns. Look, the first team in 40 years. We lost yesterday and were favored by 9.5. We beat Central Michigan by 5 and we were favored by 30.
Yeah, exactly. Georgia Tech, we were favored by 18. Virginia Tech, we were favored by 14. FIU, we were favored by 21. UNC, we were favored by 5. I mean, like I said,
we were favored by 9.5.
9.5. Like I said, man, 5 out of the 6 losses we were favored. And that Central Michigan game, that's a game we frankly, if Central Michigan, some wide receivers actually catch the balls, that's a game we should have lost. So we should have lost that game with Central Michigan, and we were favored by 30.5 points.
There you go. So that's the thing, Slim Shady, that where I draw the line, it's been an underachievement. Anthony, I saw your question about the Mike Leach coaching tree. You don't even have to go to the air raid. Just run a true spread. Get a Larry Fedora, get a Major Applewhite, get a T. Martin. There is plenty of coaches that coach the spread. That is the most common offensive system in football. In college.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of coaches in those coaching trees. So I go back to the same thing. I've been one of those people that have said, guys, proceed with caution. Firing a head coach in their very first year is a horrible look. It leads to instability in the program. It leads to the program becoming a punchline. We are a punchline.
Yeah.
When you lose to FIU, we are a punchline. When you become the first team in 40 years to lose 3 games, when you're favored by 2 touchdowns or more, you're a punchline.
Yeah. Trent, I would say...
Yeah, who isn't underachieving? Everybody.
Everybody's under the
water boy doesn't look like he's achieving. Chug more beer.
Says, can you name a first-year head coach to lose 3 games when favored by 14 or more and lose all 3 games off a bye in his first season? Yes, only Manny.
Great points, Chug more beer. Michael Love also with a donation. Thank you so much.
Says Michael Love, man, thank you so much for the dono.
Chug will thank more beer also thank you for always supporting us. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Read Michael Love's.
I appreciate you guys for your commitment and great contact. Thank you so much, Michael, man. And Chuck Mo Beer, man. We always killing it by supporting us on this chat, financially and just, we really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Michael Love, I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat, man, but thank you so much for the donation and for supporting the channel, man. If you guys haven't already, man, and you're in here, I can't never see how many likes the video has, but Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button to share this video out. If you guys are new here, please subscribe, man. We're approaching 2,000 subs, so
hit that notifications bell so you're
yeah,
also notified.
exactly, man. Slim Shady with another $5 donation, man. He says, I might agree if we get blown out by anyone, but I've seen Kirby Smart and Mario Cristobal lose by more to worse teams.
The worst teams in FIU.
I don't know about worse teams than FIU, Slim Shady.
Because it's not just that they're a group of 5. They were 5-5, got blown out by FAU the previous week by 30.
Yeah.
Got beat by Middle Tennessee State by 40. Slim, it has nothing to do with 6-6. It has to do with how he came about the 6-6.
Yeah.
With Manny not benching people who are underperforming, not pulling people off the field that have done things that are inexcusable.
Yep.
That's the thing, Slim Shady. No, guys, don't.
Slim Shady, thanks for the dono again, though, man.
Thank you for the donation, Slim Shady, and don't bash them, guys. Listen, if you ask me, let's say if I was an uninterested observer, and you're giving me an example of another team firing a coach in his first year isn't a good look. And Slim Shady's right about that.
That's what he's trying to say. Yeah, I agree with that.
Point. Right, that's his point. But maybe we need patience.
But it's not a good look where we're at right now, anyways.
Correct. And that's my point.
The
thing is, Slim Shady, I go back to the same thing. It's not that we're 6-6. It's that I have not seen from Manny any signs that he's willing to walk the walk of what it takes to change that culture. I've seen plenty of him talking the talk, but no signs that he's willing to walk the walk. So I have to get off the Manny train because Manny got off the big dog train. Because if Manny would have shown me the fortitude and the stones and the cojones, okay, not to use why did I just say cojones? I mean, after all,
yeah, right.
Why am I going to say cojones? He's not showing me the stones that it takes to impose your will on your team.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done that, you show me, Manny, that you're not the answer.
Martin, you're right, man. I think the recruiting class that Manny is putting together is a positive, but my concern remains the same. Like I just, personnel management, player development, we haven't seen much of it, Martin, and that's what concerns me at the very least. That regardless of the recruiting class that we're bringing in, they seem to be buying into what Manny's telling them, and they seem to be you guys because they even after losing to FIU, man, you still get Jalen Harrow on board, you still get Jalen Knighton on board. I mean, so they're buying into something. What they're buying into at this point right now, I'm not sure exactly what it is. Manny's apparently a good salesman because he threw the fan base for a loop and buying into that to TNM. But and I think that's some of the frustration. The frustration comes from some of that, from the hype up and the sales pitch that Manny pitched to fans, and saying that we're ready to win right now, and then saying that, oh no, but we're rebuilding, and then saying that
there's too much going right,
that there's too much going right for us to be down, and then you lose to FIU, and then you lose to Duke.
And then yesterday, after losing to FIU and losing to Duke, he says, "Well, my guys showed plenty of fight, but we just didn't have the right personnel."
Yeah, so that's that. So that's the thing, Martin. That I agree with you. I do like our recruiting class. I think we might be 12th right now after the Knighton and Harrow commitment, and we'll see who else joins this class because
Can I point something out really quick?
Yeah, what's up?
That wholesome. I hope you don't mind. This is a wholesome story that he said the other day, that I heard him say the other day. And wholesome, I hope you don't mind me using your story because you already said it publicly. Wholesome said that when he was, I believe it was in high school, okay, that I think he was a, I want to say, I don't remember if you were younger and you were trying to block a senior, or if it was the other way around, that you were older and the guy was younger. But to use that story, thank you, Wholesome. The story basically was Wholesome got beat on a play. All right. And his coach went ape shit on him. Not because he got beat, because he felt that Wholesome accepted it. He was younger. You were the one that was younger, right? So Wholesome was trying to play against a senior who had him a little bit outmatched because he was older. But Wholesome got beat, and then the coach didn't go crazy because Wholesome got beat. He went crazy because Wholesome was accepting the fact that he got beat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys understand that difference. The coach wasn't mad that Wholesome got beat by a senior, because that's going to happen. He has more experience. He's older. He's going to be physically, even if he's not stronger, he's going to be physically more grown into his body than you are when you're younger. So the coach didn't get mad that Wholesome got beat. He got mad that Wholesome accepted that he got beat and didn't get mad. That's what Miami needs. That's what Manny hasn't done. Right. That's the problem. So you have shown me that you're not part of the solution, then that means you're part of the problem.
Yep.
And Tabardine, listen, if you guys, those that are on the same boat that we were, that give them more time, I understand that.
Junior, our recruiting class is not garbage. You gotta look at that recruiting class again.
Yeah, our recruiting class has some dogs in it.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, Tabardine, is I understand the thought process of those that say stay in the course, give it some more time. I get it.
Oh, and I agree with what Jay said as well. If
correct,
if we do fire Manny, we will lose recruits. That's 100% right.
That's
because
true.
Because a lot of these recruits are buying into what Manny's is selling them.
100%, Jay, and you're right about that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not even mad at all at those that think we should stay the course. What I'm saying is
not the course of keeping the same staff.
No. The stay in the course of giving Manny another year.
Okay.
Okay, right. I'm talking about that.
You got to clarify that, because when people say that you're staying the course, they're going to think that,
correct.
You want to keep everybody in place.
The staff in its entirety, that should be a fireable offense, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you go on, Big Dog, we got a $5 donation from Betu Perry. Thank you so much, Betu Perry.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. Let me make this a little bit bigger, man. He says, we need a pure head coach. Stop giving coordinators their first head coaching job. I wouldn't give a deputy a head sheriff job.
That's a valid point.
You're not lying.
You're not lying. Thank you, Betu Perry, for the donation.
Bad point, man. Thank you so
much. You always
much,
support us. Thank you so much, partner. And like I said, I understand, guys, those that are in that boat of giving Manny another year, as long as he makes changes to the staff. I get that. My problem is that Manny Diaz, not 6-6, Manny Diaz has convinced me that he's not part of the solution. So you guys take that for what it's worth. He hasn't convinced me that he's part of the solution, because he has not shown me the fortitude that he's willing to put his money where his mouth is and live by that Miami standard. Because that's what he promised me.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were 6-6 or 4-8, but losing because guys that are lesser talents or lesser experience were playing ahead of guys that weren't putting out, I'd be like, hey, Manny's the truth. Manny's sticking to what he's saying. The fact that he hasn't done that, it's what's turned me off and has gotten me out of that boat or off that train.
Right.
Because he hasn't shown me he's part of the solution.
Yep.
So
I agree.
All right.
All right, man. I think we got
and CJ, if he watches this, CJ, I haven't forgotten our bet. I only had that plastic bag, but if you're with us on Thursday, I'll make sure I get a paper bag.
I'm thinking about for Thursday probably doing a call-in show.
Okay.
Because
and by the way, guys, we're going to have breakdowns, video breakdowns of all the new recruits that we hadn't covered in our previous recruiting videos. We'll have those and release them during the week.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about, because I know a lot of people want to get have their voices be heard, man. So I'm thinking about, let us know what you guys think, man. You guys want to see a call-in show? You guys want to voice your opinions on what's going on, or you guys want to see us, just stick to the usual and not do a call-in show? But I feel like a lot of people want to get some things off their chest, man. So let us know, man. If you guys are watching this on the playback, let us know if you guys want us to do a call-in show on Thursday. We could do a half and half, half the show call-in and the rest will just interact with the chat, man. Because I feel like the chat gets left out quite a bit when we have call-in shows and vice versa. But we could do a half and half, man. We'll do 45 minutes call-ins and then 45 minutes, just to chat. Tommy Guns with a $2 donation, man. Thank you so much, Tommy, for your contribution to the channel and to everybody, man. Yeah, a lot of people are saying call in, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do call in on Thursdays. But Tommy Guns, thank you once again, and to all of you that have supported financially, man. Thank you so much, and for just joining us on a Sunday morning, man, on a tough Sunday morning, because I know it's not easy. Sometimes I don't even feel like doing a show because of how disappointed and how mad I am, but it's the least I can do, man, because of all the support and the love that you guys give us, man. If anybody's watching this and they're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime me and the big dog do upload a video. Like he said, we're going to be breaking down, some recruits that committed this past week. Daz for sure, because we never broke down Daz and some more.
I don't think we broke down Jalen Knighton, but just in case, put it this way, if you haven't broken them down, we're going to do those videos.
Exactly, man. So be on the lookout for those, man. So hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime we do upload those. And if you're watching this on a playback, or you just feel like leaving your comments once we're done and we log off here, man, let it be known in the comment section below. If you guys want to support the channel, man, PayPal or Super Chat, it's always going to be there, man. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, hit that like button before you guys go ahead and get out of here, man. And if you're watching this, hit that like button as well so you get shared. Almost 2,000 subs, man. We wouldn't be anywhere close if it wasn't for you guys. If it wasn't for guys like Wholesome, Zoe, Coach Cool, Paul, all of you guys, man. NMD, thank you so much, man, for the support. We're almost at 2,000, man. So if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button. Get us to 2,000. I want to be at 2,000 by Thursday, man. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do a call-in show on Thursday. Be on the lookout for that. See you guys Thursday, man. I know it's a tough loss. It's a tough Sunday. Yeah.
Yep. Orange and Green Blood had a great a comment. He said that Manny reminds him of the old man that buys a Corvette but never puts it over 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, man.
That's exactly right. That's a great analogy, Orange and Green Blood.
I know. But yeah, man, with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Thank you once again for everybody for joining us on this Sunday morning, for your contributions, for your support, for everything, man. We're all hurting. I know it's tough. Hopefully we see some changes, man. Hopefully we see something. Anything to get us excited about the future for this University of Miami Hurricanes football program. But regardless, man, up, down, lowest of the low, man, it is and always will be all about the U, man.
It's always all about this you.
No matter what.
Hey, Martin, I had to say this. I'm sorry. Martin said that he's betting on Manny that if he loses next year, he's going to fly to America and he'll be wearing the paper bag on our show.
I like that, Martin. I
love that. Guys, thank you for joining us. And again, it's always all about this you. Thank you, guys, and enjoy your rest of your Sunday.
Have a good one.